Hello, our lovely creatures of darkness. I'm Shade.
And I'm Decay.
And welcome back to the Hollow Throne. Tonight's story is called The Mansion on the Hill. Written by Shade of Dark Little Voices and narrated by Dark Little Voices. This was based on my reoccurring nightmare. Enjoy. Ever since I started dating my girlfriend, Tori, things have gotten weird. Don't get me wrong, she's simply amazing. We always have a great time no matter what, and just talking to her leaves my heart racing a mile a minute. But there's something about her that seems to trigger this reoccurring nightmare that I really don't understand. Someone suggested talking about it to see if the nightmare would end, or see a shrink to see if it's something that I'm just not understanding about myself. Either way, I can't stop thinking about it. Here's what seems to happen before the nightmare starts. We finally go on a date and try to improve on our relationship because we've grown pretty close. We go to bed and I think to myself how life is perfect the way it is. And then I slowly drift away to sleep. The nightmare starts with the fact that I'm lost in the woods somehow, traveling for a while in the dark. I see a well-lit gate up the hill. I've never seen this place before, but the mansion that seems to be a good distance from the gate seems beautiful and inviting. That's when my girlfriend invites me in. I try to ask her who lives here, or for that matter, does this belong to her? With a creepy giggle, she simply says,
No, my love. This is our home. You know that. Now come on. I've missed you.
She pulls me along, and I feel warning bells in my head telling me that this is a horrible idea. It warns me that if I go inside, things are going to get worse. I force myself to memorize details such as the car that I somehow have the keys to, the sky being pitch black as if something swallowed the stars themselves and left everything in a pitch black state. I turn around to look and see if I can see the forest that I just came out of, but it is swallowed up by darkness. The only thing I can see is everything on the property. Anything outside of it seems to no longer exist. I told Tori, "Baby, maybe we should leave." In a demonic voice, she shouts,
No!
I begin to panic more as I demand for her to let go of me. Damn it, Tori! I said let go of me! She ignores me as I tell her she's hurting me. She never looks back as we inch closer and closer to this beautiful wooden double-sided door. Their bright wooden color fades to black as I enter. The second I get free from her grasp, I run as fast as I can, with her laugh echoing. I begin to think that I've escaped as her footsteps die down. I feel a sense of vertigo, but I know if I collapse or gag from the nauseating feeling, she's going to find me. It becomes a game of who can outsmart who. Like a scared rat, I hide along the rafters somehow. I can't help but feel as if she's only toying with me. This is where the nightmare ends, but it doesn't stop here. I only wish it did. Despite the nightmares, Tori and I continue to see each other, and I asked for her hand in marriage. That's when it got worse. Way worse. The nightmare played out as it usually did, but things were different. This time, men that I have never seen before chased me all throughout the woods. They tried to stab and shoot me. Little did I know why. I managed to hold refuge in what I thought was an abandoned home. They stopped looking for me the second that I got in the house. As I started to stand up and get a hold of myself, I looked around and fear turned my blood cold as I realized they baited me back to the fucking mansion on the hill. Damn you! I couldn't help but yell out.
Yet it's you who are damned.
Said the whispering voice. Unfortunately, I knew exactly what it was. It was a nightmare version of Tori. I'm getting out of here, I said sternly. That's when she showed herself as this large, centipede-like creature.
Try that all you like. You won't escape again, but you will be mine.
She immediately tried to attack me and almost took my right arm in the process. The chase began almost immediately. I ran up the stairs until she caught up to me quickly on her human hands for feet and arms for legs. I jumped off the banister as she screeched in anger. As soon as I touched the ground, she destroyed the banister, and I ran into a random room. Barely escaping, I tried to wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up! Then my alarm clock woke me up. I woke up in a cold sweat, and had never been so happy to wake up to an alarm before. However, as I went to turn off the alarm, her voice appeared in my head.
This isn't over!
It said angrily.
I will find you, my love.
It whispered in my mind. For the rest of the week, I was on edge. I now knew that whatever this creature was had the ability to pretend to be my fiancé. Despite this, years had gone by without a single incident. So, I naturally assumed that I was in the clear. Then one day, sometime after we had our second child, it happened again. Same nightmare, only this time, I got brave and challenged the creature. This time the wager was higher than I wanted it to. If this time I failed to escape before the dream ended, my children would be doomed to this exact hell that I was in. Clocks ticked on rapidly to mock the fact that I was running out of time and needed to make the choice. I finally agreed and everything went so quiet you could hear your own heartbeat. I quickly ran up the stairs knowing that the front door wasn't an option. I hadn't considered that I would need to save my kids in the madness. In fact, the only reason I knew they were involved was because they both screamed and cried for me. I felt myself breaking into pieces at this, but I knew I had to press on. I screamed for them over and over until I saw a large detailed door that made me feel uneasy. That's when the fake Tori ran at me. I tried to bash my way into the door, but it was hard to do as it was a heavy wooden door. The kids screamed for me again as Tori came closer, and finally I made my choice. I quickly outsmarted her, cutting my hand in the process. I used a knife on the door as the creature pretending to be my wife screamed in torture. I stabbed the door several times before it disappeared and the door was open. I quickly rushed and picked them up. I ran throughout the house as the creature's centipede form came after us. My poor, innocent children screamed and cried into me as the creature's razor-sharp claws grazed my back, sending me tumbling down the stairs. I used my now bloodied body as a human shield.
You can't escape, my love. You will be mine.
She shouted with excitement as she crawled quickly down the now broken stairs. The fuck I will, I shouted back. Suddenly my heart raced more as I could feel time counting itself down. Tears fell from my face. This was it, I thought to myself. My children and I were doomed to be this thing's plaything. I shut my eyes tightly as I told my crying children that their papa loved them more than anything in the world. The creature's massive, toothy maw was about to clamp down on us. when I saw that part of the house that Tori and I dreamt about having, our own greenhouse. I didn't hesitate or even try to make sense. I ran as fast as I could with my kids gripping me so tight that I thought pieces of my flesh would be bruised or scarred. It didn't matter. With the last of my strength, we broke through the glass part of the greenhouse. The creature screamed in defeat as I tried to prevent shards of glass from impaling my kids. It wasn't over. The creature didn't care that it lost and that we won. She just wanted to eat and torment us. What made the endeavor worse was the clock was still ticking. It didn't make sense until I quickly realized the mansion grounds counted too. I quickly remembered the vehicles and I tried to run to it. As I did, I looked down and saw my left leg was covered in glass shards. Damn it! I screamed as I kept moving. Every single step felt as if the glass seeped deeper in my skin and into my calf. It was a torture. She turned back into my wife and walked slowly to us.
Baby, it's dark outside. Just come back with me. We can start over.
She said seductively. I threw my children into the car as I ignored her. Suddenly her face contorted into a huge smile with jagged teeth. I know I should have tried to save my wife, but my son and daughter needed me more. Besides, whatever took my wife wasn't planning on giving me a chance to save them all. I hotwired the car and immediately drove it backwards, slamming the gate open. We had barely made it out, but the creature looked amused, as if our fear was more than enough, as it watched us drive away. I woke up crying, covered in sweat, and I ran to check on my kids. They were both sound asleep as I sighed with relief. My wife went to check if I was okay. I felt stupid as I talked to her about the nightmares. She assured me that they were just nightmares and that everything was okay. She went downstairs to make breakfast. I went downstairs to see her after I brushed my teeth. I was honestly relieved that despite how much the pain felt so real, it was all just a series of bad dreams. As I entered the kitchen, I realized that I barely heard her after I brushed my teeth, or any of the kitchen utensils being used. I looked at our family table and saw her favorite cross stabbed into the table upside down. My wife isn't known for her pranks and is a religious woman, so I knew she would never do this. That's when, to my left, I felt a dark presence. It was similar to the creature in the nightmare. My blood turned cold as ice as she said,
Welcome home, sweetheart. I told you that you and I would be together. We will be together forever. And the best part is that now not even death can tear us apart.
I ran upstairs to get my kids when I realized I never had kids. We were planning on kids, but not right now. That's when the last words I heard were whispered into my ear.
You really shouldn't have moved here. You're all mine now.
And everything since then went dark. We hope you enjoyed tonight's video. If you did, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and ring the bell notification. A special shout out goes to Lucy Rosado and Justin Rosado for their generous donations as our patrons. If you too would like to help the channel to grow a little bit more, please visit us on Patreon. Otherwise, have a wonderful night, and remember,
We're always watching.